Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the world of home tech with me, your host Paul Hibbert. Welcome to my Dell stick. Still shiny after 10 years of me abusing it and literally standing on it and breaking it eventually. I'm actually holding it together. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because this is the thing that started all of this nonsense. I bought this originally 10 years ago because I wanted to be able to control plug sockets and light switches and various other things with my voice. And we're talking in the days long before Alexa came along and stole all of my ideas. My computer was called Alexander.
Me and my good lady live in a bedroom, basically. It's a house share with an old friend of mine. We're saving for a house currently. Alexander, shut it all down.
Disengaging all applications. See you soon. Setting alarm in 10, 9.
We'd better get out of here.
I'm pretty sure their research team found that and said, that's a good idea, let's steal all of those things. So this is what started this stuff, and the reason I'm showing it to you is because I then bought one of these. You'll have to forgive him. Unfortunately, he forgets that it's important to engage everybody, including our US cousins. So if you're in the US, don't just skip this video. There's actually some major important news at the end of this. I'm not even sure I'm supposed to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Anyway, I'll let him get back. This is the Broadlink RM Pro, and it does the same thing as this. It can control plug sockets and light switches and any RF device pretty much as long as it's plugged into the mains, so I didn't have to plug this into my computer. I said to the guys over at Vox Commando, who are my friends that created my assistant for me, or helped me to create my assistant, they said, we can control that, but it's complicated, and I put it in a drawer and stopped thinking about it. After a lot of years, Alexa came and stole all my ideas, and I suddenly thought, I wonder if I can get this thing connected to Alexa to control my plug sockets and my light switches. And the answer was, yes, I could. The Broadlink team themselves had not created an Alexa skill, but some very clever people had, and it was called the RM plugin. And all you needed to do was install it on an Android device, and have that Android device sit between this thing and Alexa, so that Alexa could control this thing via your Android device. That was called the RM plugin, and it was brilliant, and it still is. I still use it to this day. It still has many uses. So about 6 months go by, and basically I'm in absolute bliss because I'm living in the future. Finally! I can control RF plug sockets and light switches with this thing using Alexa. Amazing! But what I haven't said yet is this thing can also control infrared devices such as set-top boxes and TVs. So basically, I could control practically anything. That is when I made this video, where I'm far more calm because I'm all nervous. And that is what started my channel back up after a long hiatus. Then Broadlink said, wait a minute, we should be the ones doing this, not this RM plugin thing. We should have our own proper official Alexa skill. And so they released one, and it worked. Kind of. So this Alexa skill was only capable of controlling TVs. It couldn't control the RF stuff, and so I was very sad because I desperately wanted to be able to put my Android device to one side and not have to have the RM plugin running constantly for it to work. So I started using their skill, and I badgered them to get the RF side of this working. They got the RF side of this working, and I celebrated wholeheartedly. Then GDPR came along and ruined it all for anyone who is not in the United States of America. If you're living in the United States, all of this stuff still works for you. So you still have RF, you still have infrared, and your Alexa skill is great. If you're a brand new customer to this thing, you're now probably setting up the Alexa skill and realizing you can't control RF stuff. And the reason is because the application on your mobile phone that you use to train this thing with all your devices can't learn RF via the only thing in the app that is detectable by Alexa. So we are stuck. So why is everything broken? Everything is broken because GDPR came along and basically did a big poo on everything. It ruined so many things. And Broadlink went, oh my god, we'd better create an EU server that is GDPR compliant. So they did that, and now that server houses two things. It houses the Broadlink EU skill for Alexa, and it also houses the IHC app for both Android and iOS, which is where you program up all your devices. So that would be great, but they're having some major teething issues, and those problems are threefold. Number 1. If you are an EU customer, then Google Home does not work at all. Number 2. If you're an EU customer, you can create as many scenes as you like in IHC, but they will never be discovered by Alexa. America does not have this problem. Number 3. If you are an EU customer, then there is no way to teach Alexa any kind of RF command whatsoever. You can only teach her infrared, which sucks. So what's to be done about this? You have 3 options. The first one is pretty obvious. Wait. We just need to wait and Broadlink will resolve it. Now, I've spoken to them at length and I got very upset. And eventually wrote to the chairman of Broadlink because that's how upset I was. I didn't get a response from him directly, but I did get a response from his second in command. And that chap has told me a lot of things. He's been very accommodating, and I'm very grateful, if I'm honest. So the first thing is the learning of RF lamps in IHC EU. They've been very apologetic, and he said that this will be released imminently. So by the time this video's out, it might already be resolved. If that's the case, it's in the description. 2, Google Home. They're saying Google Home will be resolved within 2 weeks. That is apparently a promise. 3, scene control in Google and Alexa. They're aware of the issue and they are promising, again it's a promise, to resolve it within 3 weeks. Now I promised you some other options, so the other 2 options are 1, use the RM plugin. It still works. Why not use it? It is brilliant. It, of course, requires an Android device to always be on, but I just use an Android set-top box. It's like low power consumption, and guess what? I've got Netflix, I've got Plex, I've got Kodi, I've got all that cool stuff on top of having a device that is constantly running my house. And it doesn't just work with Alexa, it works with a whole host of things. I've made a whole bunch of videos about it, and it will in fact work with If This Then That, which is interesting. That video is here. 2. Lie to Amazon. Tell them you live in America. If you tell them you live in America, you get the American Skills Store and you can use the American skills. There is a caveat or 2 to this, so I would recommend watching this video, which will take you through the caveats, and then link you to the video that actually takes you through how to do it. It's mega easy, and you can easily put it back at any time you want if you don't like it. So I promised you some news at the beginning of all of this, and here it is. Broadlink are releasing new devices in 2019. Basically, they are replacements for the RM Pro and the Black Bean, the RM Mini 3. So there's going to be an RM Mini 4. If you don't know what that is, it basically does the same thing as the RM Pro, but only does infrared, and therefore is cheaper. And they're releasing a remote control. A remote control. This is something that will obviously rival the Logitech Harmony stuff, but for a much lower price tag, I imagine. So I'm actually really excited about that, because sometimes you just want a bit of plastic in your hand. You just want a bit of plastic. On top of this, and this is possibly the most exciting news yet, and again, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell you this, the pamphlet says, alongside each device, that it will support If This Then That. If This Then That! I can't tell you how exciting that is, because if you can control these things with IFT, then basically you can trigger all of this stuff using, I don't know, sunlight, or anything you can imagine. You will be able to switch your RF stuff on and off. I am mega excited about that, and I hope you are too. And I hope it was worth the wait. I hope I've entertained you in the meantime, America. If I haven't, I apologize. You could have just skipped to the end. If you did skip to the end, screw you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of this guy, well, there's a whole load of social stuff now that my missus has made me do. So go and check me out on social media. If you want to help support my channel, there's my PayPal and my Patreon. And honestly, anyone that donates to that, I am eternally grateful to you. That's about it. I'll see you next time. Those things do not quite work properly. I am giving you the fingers. Sorry. It sent RF frequencies to control my plug sockets and light switches. I think I have wet in my beard. Ugh. And that EU server now houses the EU lamps is going to be resolved within I have spoken to them directly, and they've told me that and when it doesn't come through, there'll be lots of
This is the dance of the robot.